Authorities in 2 states are investigating a despicable case of child abuse, but say they haven't been able to track down who did this. Police say a woman brought the 3-month-old to a hospital in Arkansas near the Missouri border after finding him in poor condition, being watched by someone who is not his mother or his father. After initial checkup, employees at the medical center called 911. According to officers, the baby had bruising on his face, arms, and legs, facial swelling, and what appeared to be super glue around his mouth. Further tests revealed the child had fractures. Now police are trying to find out how this happened to him. Dave Mack is a syndicated talk show host. He joins us tonight from Birmingham, Alabama. All right, Dave, I want to really look at the injuries of this child. There were fractures. Do we know where the fractures were?
We know that he has fractures on his ribs. Of course, he has a fractured skull. He's got bruising on his arms and his face. He had all the signs of abuse, which is why police were called almost immediately, Gene.
Right. So we've got 2 fractures that we know of, the skull and ribs, okay?
Correct.
Now, this is a 3-month-old baby. I know from some of the legal work that I've done that ribs in a 3-month-old can be very bendable and pliable because they're not formed yet, so they're like a rubber band. They do not break easily. It's very hard to break ribs at this point. Tell me about the super glue on the mouth.
You know, Gene, everything about this is heartbreaking. And when you were talking about how the bones bend at this age, in particular the ribs, one can only imagine that whoever was in charge of taking care of this 12-week-old baby, that they were trying to silence the baby and use super glue while holding its face. That's why you've got bruising around the face, as they were trying to hold the baby's mouth shut, ostensibly to keep him from crying, and poured super glue around this baby's mouth to try to get it to shut.
Yeah, Brian and Joey, I mean, you see the state of mind just right there. You know, Brian, if the baby just had the injuries, the fractures and the bruising, you could say he fell or somebody accidentally dropped him, or you could find some, but the super glue, Brian?
Yeah, I handle child abuse cases, so this is torture for me to hear this, but that is just flat-out categorical evidence of child neglect, abuse, and torture.
And the purposeful nature of it, Gene. And you think about this, okay? It's a 3-month-old baby, right? How precious is a 3-month-old to all of us? You would coddle a 3-year-old and kiss and hug and love. How does something like this happen to the point where we don't even know who's responsible? Doesn't make sense.
Right. And how do you break the skull and the ribs?
Through a lack of humanity, through wickedness, through purposeful conduct, through action which is just deplorable and reprehensible.
Extreme force.
Exactly.
All right.